It's the show of the week.
Hello, welcome back to Show of the Week, the weekly segment where we talk musical theater and where I wear flannel. This week I want to talk about The Secret Garden, a 1991 musical based on the children's novel of the same name. There is nothing childish about The Secret Garden. This is a complex, deeply poetic, heartstring-tugging musical with some of the most beautiful music to hit musical theater in the 90s. The duet, Lily's Eyes, is one of my favorite male duets in all of musical theater. It might be my favorite. It's certainly my favorite dramatic one. It is heart-wrenching and stunning and beautiful and ethereal in a way that is difficult to describe. Oh, it's so good. The whole score is great too. This musical relies very heavily on some beautiful choral music, which, as I've said a couple times, I think, you don't find those kind of big choral heavy numbers in musical theater very often, and there's something really satisfying about when they're pulled off well, and The Secret Garden does it beautifully. The Secret Garden fell on kind of the tail end of a chunk of musical theater that scholars term the Euro musical. I have trouble with that term because I feel like it's kind of a misnomer. They don't all come from Europe. They're not all Cameron McIntosh, Lloyd Webber productions, but something about these big, often choral, epic adventures of fantasy, things like Evita or Les Mis or Phantom of the Opera or Sweeney Todd or The Secret Garden, which, right around 91, it might have been one of the last ones to hit the Tony Awards before we started entering the more contemporary musical theater era we're in now with things like Rent and Wicked and Jersey Boys and Hamilton. And so I think it will be interesting to watch and see what Secret Garden does in the next decade or so, because for contemporary musicals, that feels like kind of the ebb and flow, about a decade and a half or so before we feel like we can dust it off and bring it back again. But I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more reimaginings of Secret Garden hitting the big theaters soon. I know there have been some concert readings, but I don't know, something about this one tickles me and says it's gonna come back soon, but who knows, we'll see. Whatever the case, The Secret Garden, go listen to it, and I'll see you next week. Are you guys going through September withdrawal? I am a little bit, although I will say my life is a lot more stress-free not having to put out a new video every single day. There's something relieving and relaxing about all of that. I'm working on doing a write-up of the whole Sondheim September experiment. It was a bit of an experiment to see what that was like, doing something like that on YouTube. And I don't quite know what to write about. So if there's something about the whole breadth of Sondheim September, what it was like, what my goals were, or what some aspect of the whole adventure that you want to hear about, will you let me know? Because I want to do a write-up for other people who want to go on this kind of artistic endeavor, so that maybe I can, pass some of that along too. So let me know what you want to hear about in like a Sondheim September post-mortem. Kind of grim, but I think that's it. Yeah? Great, awesome. I'll see you next week.